Tonight, learn how to play a traditional board game Chinese style.
Plus, the community honors those who have lost their lives due to bullying. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for October 24, 2014. I'm Courtney Addison.
And I'm Haley Greathouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. Throughout the month of October, the Troy University Counseling Department has held a series of bully-proof events, ending with the town hall meeting and bully-proof vigil last night. Thursday night, community members gathered together in Hawkins Hall to end a month of activities aimed at helping students be bully-proof.
This was kind of our final event this evening, which was a town hall meeting with an expert panel to raise awareness, starting with principal, school counselor, clinical mental health counselor, and then a victim advocate to share their experiences in our community with bullying, which then concluded with a candlelight vigil.
The town hall meeting focused on how everyone can help victims of bullying.
How do we deal with this whole issue of bullying from multiple perspectives for everyone that might be involved? Because even the bully themselves is yet a victim if you really think about it.
And Orok says the main point of the bully-proof events is to provide awareness.
I think, what we're doing right now is we're planting seeds. And so we've been planting these seeds to grow that awareness.
After the town hall meeting, community members gathered outside for a candlelight vigil. It was a time to grieve for the people who committed suicide due to bullying in the past year.
I think it's important that everyone has an opportunity to grieve in different ways. And this is both a remembrance and an honoring, and also an opportunity to revisit those feelings if someone needs to. They shouldn't be forgotten. They should be remembered. And I look for a time in our future when bullying at the levels we're experiencing today is really a thing of the past.
Although this was the last bully-proof event, funds raised by the campaign will go towards anti-bullying curriculum and personnel to implement anti-bullying programs in Pike County and Troy City schools.
And for those of you looking to get a Halloween scare, you might not have to leave Troy. The Johnson Center for the Arts opened a new exhibit this week to give residents their dose of spook. Jordan Elson stopped by to give you a sneak peek.
Halloween is right around the corner, and the Johnson Center for the Arts is getting in the spooky spirit with their new face jug exhibit.
Right now, we're exhibiting our face jug collection. It's generously on loan from Dr. Robert Gillum. He'll be giving a speech about them, a little lecture at our art talk, and it's going to be October 29th and from 11 to 1 p.m.
Face jugs come in many different shapes, sizes, colors, and have many different expressions. They have been widely used for different purposes throughout the years, but now they're mostly viewed as works of art.
It actually traces back to the mid-19th century. It has to do with slave culture. When the Africans were brought over, usually West Africa is where we see the origins from. They were taking place, they were taken to potteries, and they were taught how to be potters.
This is the first year that the Johnson Center for the Arts has displayed the face jug exhibit, but Moore feels that it will be a hit with the community.
I definitely think so. We've been posting about it for weeks, and it's gotten really good feedback on social media. We've also incorporated the local schools by doing our Face Jug Fright art competition. And the teachers from the local schools tell their kids about, the face jugs. They teach them, a little bit about them. Then they let them create their own face jugs.
Dr. Robert Gillum will be talking about the face jugs at the Johnson Center for the Arts on October 29th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And the face jugs will be on display from October 22nd until November 5th. Jordan Elston, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Johnson Center for the Arts is located on Walnut Street behind the square in downtown Troy. Well, people around the world grew up playing chess, with their grandparents, things like that. But what many people don't know is that the rules to those games vary from place to place.
And today, Sarah Singletary shows us how this game is played in China.
This week's Chinese Corner focused on teaching those who attended how to play Chinese chess. After a quick briefing on each piece and how the chessboard works, the group split up into pairs for some hands-on learning. The instructor says her inspiration for this week's corner was sparked by American students touring the Confucius Institute.
When some American students come to take a tour, they usually will show the interest in the chessboard and the Chinese chess pieces, then I think, oh, this might be a good idea, because there's a great similarities between the Chinese chess and the international chess. So they may, if they know about the rules, then they can know how to play it, and I think that's cool.
One student believes that every variation of the worldwide game of chess is a way to express a country's culture.
We can all kind of connect through chess. In learning a different chess, each chess is modified to the culture of the country. And so I guess it's like with American chess, you have the pieces, and more Eastern chesses like Japan and China, you have symbols, which is more to talk the culture.
A professor in the Institute says that Chinese Corner events help students understand the Chinese culture and language better.
Chinese Corner here is very important. It plays a very important role for, improve people's interest here in the Chinese language.
Sarah Singletary, TrojanVision News.
This was part of the Confucius Institute's weekly Chinese Corner.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. A former Baptist pastor has been indicted this week in his wife's slaying in suburban Birmingham. Court records show 53-year-old Richard Shannon is charged with the murder and killing of his wife, Karen Shannon. Shannon is a former children's minister at First Baptist Church of Birmingham. Prosecutors suspect he wanted to leave the United States to marry another man.
In Mobile, the trial of a man accused in the deaths of his 2 children continues, with the court hearing his recorded interviews with police. John DeBlaise and his common-law wife, Heather Caton, are charged with capital murder in the deaths of his 4-year-old daughter, Natalie, and 3-year-old son, Chase.
The Dalai Lama is scheduled to arrive in Birmingham today to begin a visit to the United States. The Tibet spiritual leader will be in Alabama's largest city for 2 days of public appearances.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision News, the men and women's basketball teams held a special event for students last night. Amy Austin will give us the details when she joins us in sports.
And ISIS is back on the radar, and it has one mother pleading for her son's life. We'll have the details after the break. Stay with us.
The family of an American hostage held by ISIS gets unexpected help. I'm Mark Albert in Washington with more on the plea for the release of Peter Kassig.
Welcome home, man.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The basketball teams still have weeks before their first official game of the season. The teams wanted to start this season off with a lot of momentum and support and held an event last night to do just that. Hundreds of students packed Trojan Arena last night for the first ever Trojan Madness. This was an event focused on gaining support for the men's and women's basketball teams.
Last year, we didn't have a good enough marketing for our basketball teams. You know, like sometimes the games are not as packed as we wanted to be. You know, so me and the rest of the team, we all came together and decided, you know, we got to do something big, some type of event for the men's and the women's basketball team that we can both, you know, have fun, you know, put on a show, you know, and get more people to come out to our game.
Trojan Madness ranged from a three-point contest to scrimmages to dunking contest. And senior Kevin Thomas said dunking has always been his favorite part of the game.
I mean, I love dunking. You know, I mean, ever since I was in 8th grade, I was dunking right there. So, you know, I love putting on a show for everybody. You know, I love, you know, entertaining and stuff like that. So it was great to just be out there, you know, have some fun with my teammates and have fun with the women's basketball team. So, you know, it was great for me.
And not only was this event fun for students and players, head coach Phil Cunningham said this is a momentum starter to kick the season off right.
Well, I think it's just building some excitement for the upcoming season, and we're in the middle of a grind right now. We're in the middle of two-a-days. We practiced at 6 this morning. We're going to turn around and practice twice tomorrow, including at 6 a.m. So this was a good distraction for our team to come out here and have some fun.
The men's season starts at home on November 6th, while the women's game is the same night but will be an away game. After their first victory, the Trojan football team took a rough loss this past Saturday against Appalachian State. With only 5 games left in the season, the Trojans are looking to win against South Alabama on their home turf. With a quick week to prepare for a Friday night game, the Trojan football team will head to Mobile to face South Alabama. Head coach Larry Blakeney knows what his team needs to do in order to get back in the win column.
We got to compete better. We got to give them better plans and coach better. And hopefully find a way to give them a chance to experience singing a fight song again. That's my favorite time.
Last year, Troy took on South Alabama in Troy for homecoming. It came down to the last minutes of the game, and Troy came away with a 34-33 victory. I'm
sure that they felt like they got robbed up here last year, basically. Because they played well enough to win the game, and we sort of stole it from them late.
This is the 3rd year in a row for these two teams to meet, and the in-state rivalry has become not only a rivalry among players, but also among students and fans.
It's a huge rivalry for us, in my opinion. I know up front we're really excited to play. You know, we know a bunch of the guys that we played against them in high school, or just through different things we've known them because they're in the same area as we are. But I think it's a huge rivalry for our students too. I mean, there's kind of back and forth about who's better, South or Troy. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's a big week for us, and it's something to really get pumped about.
Troy takes on South Alabama tonight in Mobile with kickoff set for 6:30 p.m. And the volleyball team is looking to bounce back after tough losses throughout conference play. The team takes the court again at home, but this time against conference foe Georgia State. Georgia State is currently 3-7 in conference play with an overall record of 5-14. They sit in ninth place in the conference, while Troy is in last place with a conference record of 1-11. The overall record for the Trojans is 9-15. And head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick expects a great turnout for this home game, just like normal.
I hope they're as great as ever. It's a Saturday night match. We only have one this weekend, so we kind of battle against college football, but our fans have been great all year. I would expect Saturday to be no less than what we've had the entire year.
The volleyball team takes the court tomorrow night at 7 against Georgia State. The soccer team is on the road this weekend to Arkansas to face 2 conference foes. The team kicks off the weekend against UALR tonight at 7 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Last year, the Trojans defeated the UALR Trojans 1-0 in Little Rock. The UALR Trojans are 8th in the conference with a record of 2-4-1, while their overall record is 11-4-1. Troy sits at 5th in the conference with a 4-3 record. And head coach Jason Hamilton knows UALR is giving this game their all in order to get into the conference tournament.
They're fighting to get in the conference tournament, so they're going to throw everything they have at us. They've got to they have to get a win this weekend. And if I'm the coach, I'm going to go after the team on Friday because we're well rested, and we don't want to be chasing the whole weekend. So we're not sure what to expect exactly from them, but we know they're going to come out fighting. They're kind of their backs against the wall, and they have to get a win.
Troy and UALR are set to play tonight at 7 p.m.